Golden sun upon the sea,
golden sun is over me.
Ukulele melody,
drifting on a gentle breeze.
Let the worries fall away on this slow.
Hi everybody, Uncle Sully back at you again. Okay, this one, I'm going to continue with my food videos. I still got a few more to do. This one's about shellfish, so because it's about shellfish, I wore my lobster shirt. What do you think? It's kind of nice. Shellfish. It's about shellfish. And like your mother always told you, don't be shellfish. God, that was a terrible pun. I'm so sorry about that. You expect better from me. But anyway, with this, once I click over, it's going to pop right over to the B-roll that I made. And I have no idea what a mudfish is, but it was in the list of... When I typed in shellfish, that's what came up. And this one says fishes. So I don't know about you dudes. This is one of the ones I love. I love clams. I love oysters. I love lobster. I'm a sushi guy. I started eating sushi in the early 80s before anybody else used to go, when they were little, dark, creepy sushi bars with a whole bunch of Japanese guys smoking in the back room, and it was dark, and you ordered all kinds of stuff that you couldn't explain, the stuff they serve now. Oh, look at those oysters. I mean, clams. I love clams. I live in Maui, and clams are hard to get, and they're always open and dead. Anyway, let's see about the dangers of snails. Let's see the dangers of shellfish. See, that I love. I don't know about the snails, but the oysters, I haven't had oysters in forever. I gotta go to Costco later today. Maybe I'll see if I can get myself a little bit of crab or some oysters or something. Oh, that's cool. Look at the beautiful little thing. Okay, we're gonna get right on to the video.
Today we're going on a bit of a scientific detective mission. We're going to follow a team of researchers as they unmask a really common foodborne killer, leading them to a breakthrough that could totally change how we protect the most vulnerable people from salmonella. You know, it all...
Unmasking a killer? Are you kidding me? Do you think maybe they're blowing it out of proportion? Dude, I love my food. I love my shellfish. Come on, give me a break.
So ordinary, something you've probably eaten a dozen times. A chicken salad sandwich at a picnic, maybe a quick lunch from the deli. It's the kind of thing you just don't think twice about. But sometimes there's a danger hiding right there in plain sight. An invisible little stowaway.
That's what I should have listened to before I got married. The danger was in plain sight.
Normal meal into a really serious health crisis. So, what are we talking about here? We're talking about salmonella. Now, according to the CDC, this little bacterium...
I think I knew him in high school. Salmonella? I don't know. Oh, no, it's somebody different.
It's one of the top causes of foodborne illness in the U.S., causing a whopping 1.35 million infections every single year. That is a staggering number, way more common than most of us think. And for a lot of people, this isn't just a day or two of feeling bad. Get this number, 26,500. That's how many people end up in the hospital each year in the U.S. because of salmonella. These are serious cases that need real medical attention. Now here's where the story gets really interesting, because the risk isn't the same for everyone. If you're an adult over the age of 65, the danger of getting severely sick from salmonella just shoots way, way up. And wow, this chart just lays it all out. See, data from the Foodborne Diseases Active Surveillance Network shows the hospitalization rate for the general population is around 27%. But look at the rate for adults 65 and over. It skyrockets to over 50%. This is the group that the scientists in our story are desperately trying to protect. So this brings us to a major puzzle in science.
How do they separate that the food did it or it wasn't the 20 shots of tequila? How do you know?
As we get older, our immune systems age right along with us. It's a process called immunosenescence, and it means our bodies just don't fight off threats or respond to vaccines as well as they used to. That's a huge problem for researchers.
Why did they throw the vaccine in there? Is there a salmonella vaccine? Oh, there's a little cartoon person sucking up a bunch of juice in a fish bowl. Ah, it doesn't look right.
Scientists created a special kind of vaccine called CVD 1926. It's what's known as a live attenuated vaccine, which is just a fancy way of saying they used a live version of salmonella that was seriously weakened. The whole idea is to teach the immune system what the enemy looks like. And in the early days, with younger test subjects, it looked really, really good. But then came the big mystery. They gave the vaccine to aged mice, which are the lab stand-in for a 65-year-old human immune system, and nothing. It just didn't work. It completely failed to protect them. So the massive question for the scientists was, why? What was going on? And you can see the problem laid out right here. The exact same vaccine, right? In young mice, it worked like a charm, they were protected. But in the aged mice, they got no real protection at all. The very group that needed this vaccine the most was left completely vulnerable. So to figure this out, the researchers had to go deeper. They started digging into salmonella's genetic playbook. And what they found was wild. They discovered it has a secret weapon, kind of like a biological invisibility cloak, and it's all controlled by one single gene called STED. Okay, so how does this invisibility cloak even work? Well, first you need to know about these things called MHC2 proteins. The easiest way to think of them is as red flags. When one of your cells gets infected, it's supposed to stick these little MHC2 flags on its own surface to signal for help. It's like, hey, T cells over here, I've been invaded. And here's where salmonella is so sneaky. Once it gets inside a cell, it flips on that STD gene. That gene makes a protein that goes around and just pulls down all those red flags. It removes them from the cell's surface. So now the immune system's T cells are basically blind. They patrol right on by with no idea that the cell is screaming for help on the inside. So this incredible discovery led to a brilliant new idea. The scientists thought, wait a minute, what if we could take away the bacteria's invisibility cloak before it even gets a chance to use it? What if we just deleted the STED gene from the vaccine itself? And that's exactly what they did. They went back to the lab and made a new vaccine. It was identical to the old one in every single way.
Have you ever heard of this vaccine? I don't give a boy. They try to get me to take every vaccine in the world. They try to give me a vaccine for toe jam. But I've never heard of this one.
Critical tweak. They erased that STED gene. It was time to see what this new uncloaked vaccine could do. So here we have the big showdown. On one side, the old vaccine, which still had that sneaky STID gene, so it could hide from an older immune system. But on the other side, you have the new vaccine. No STID gene, no invisibility cloak. It was totally exposed, forcing the immune system to see it and hopefully attack. And the first results were just incredible. Take a look at this chart. It's based on figure 2 from their paper. It shows the T cell response in those aged mice. With no vaccine, you get a low response. With the old vaccine, still a very low response. But look at the mice who got the new vaccine. That's the one marked delta STD, which just means the CD gene was removed. Their T cell response went through the roof. The immune system could finally see the bad guy. This was a huge win for sure, but it wasn't the end of the line.
This stuff's all new to me. I've never heard anything about some vaccine for salmonella. So I guess you can eat more salmonella? I'm not sure.
Response is fantastic, but it all boils down to one final make or break question. Could this new vaccine, with its souped-up immune response, actually protect the aged mice when they were hit with a real deadly dose of salmonella? This was it. The whole theory, all their work, it all hinged on the answer to this one question. And here it is, the answer. This chart is based on figure 7 from the study, and it shows how much salmonella bacteria was found in the spleens of the mice after the attack. The unvaccinated mice, totally overwhelmed. The mice with the old vaccine, same story, also overwhelmed. But look at the mice who got the new vaccine. The amount of bacteria is significantly, dramatically lower. It worked.
So they're testing mice spleens for this? I didn't know this was going to get creepy. Sorry.
Vaccine actually protected them. This is so exciting because, this isn't just about one vaccine for one bug. What these scientists did in the lab points to a completely new strategy for how we design vaccines, especially for older adults. I mean, think about it. Just by finding and deleting one single gene that bacteria use to hide, these scientists proved that this approach works. They showed us that instead of just trying to boost an aging immune system, maybe we can just make the pathogen an easier target to begin with. That's a huge shift in thinking. And hey, don't just take my word for it. The researchers said it perfectly themselves in their paper, which was published in Frontiers in Immunology. This isn't just some far-off idea anymore. It's a real potential strategy that could lead to a whole new generation of better vaccines. And that really leaves us with a fascinating question to chew on. Salmonella isn't the only disease that uses clever genetic tricks to hide from us.
I don't know, is salmonella actually a disease? Because it's something that you eat. Is that a disease? I thought a disease was something you catch. Oh, okay. Well, that's why I'm not a doctor. Ignore that.
Really opens a door and makes you wonder, what other invisible diseases are out there that we could finally learn to unmask?
I don't know. This one was labeled shellfish. So, but it really didn't say anything specifically about shellfish. I guess they're trying to assume that you can get salmonella from shellfish. It didn't really say what was a large purveyor of the shellfish problem or the salmonella problem. So anyway, that one actually put me to sleep. It was kind of boring, wasn't it? Anyway, it was good information, I guess. If you want to get the vaccine, go down and get the vaccine. It's not a bad idea, I would say. So anyway, thanks for joining me, and aloha from Maui. Take care.
Golden sun upon the sea.
Golden sun is over me.